Hello and welcome. Today we are flying from Gran Canaria again, and we are flying towards Faro, and we are around 100 nautical miles from top of descent according to simple FMC. So um, 86 nautical miles, I should say. Sorry for that. And I wanted to demonstrate this aircraft as I have not been part of it, and of course it is mainly to show my project as well, how it is interfering by the project here. Okay, but let's take a look at the aircraft, and I thought I would do this this way here because I think it is a better way, so we are spending some of the time here in the air talking about the aircraft instead of doing it all on the ground and then do the flight, because then there's no reason to do the flight, in fact, nearly. So that is how it is. Okay. And by the way, it is a nice aircraft, even though the only thing I would say is in crosswind and such turbulent weather, it can be a bit of a challenge to both depart and land the aircraft at the runway. It is a bit of a challenge, I should say, but of course it is a smaller jet, so it explains it a bit, but still a bit sensitive there. There is click and drag for some of the objects you can see, but there are also stuff that isn't. The altimeter is sit over here, if you are not that familiar with the layout of how the CRJ and the Challengers are in the family. It is over here, and then you got the radios that you can switch on and off from over there. For the FM, CFMS, call it what do you want. As far as I remember, it was the meaning that it would be a custom one, but as far as I know, it's not going to be. There is something, if I'm not mistaken, there is an update, so you could use Explain 11 default FMC, but don't hang me on that. I mean, I have seen that. But I haven't been following or flying this aircraft for a while, so I'm not 100% into all that stuff at the moment. You got this click system you can use, and then this here would be for the display down here where you can get stuff shown. And you can also take checklists and use the click here to the left and right to switch page, if that is an option. And you can of course use the right here to adjust what is shown at the right hand side. So that is how that works. And you can also of course open this checklist window and such if you like to. But let's get back to the flight plan page there. Up here you've got the given things as nav source for the aircraft, what is flying, and right now it is in the FMS. If you keep pressing the button it would switch, but you could also use the tune buttons over here to adjust it. as far as I remembered. Or is it? Well, for some of them you can do that, I should say. Okay. Let's get back to the normal view here. So, and you got the bearing where you can switch by the lower here, and which one you're selecting is the upper one here. So that is how you can do that. And there are a few things, weather or terrain and such. Let's see how we are doing according to type of descent, as we are getting closer here to our destination. And that is it. Check the timer here. Okay. And I'm not going into details about every single thing here because we are a bit time limited at the moment. And it is also no tutorial on flying the aircraft as such. You can see you got the click down here where you can switch from active to standby, and you can use the cursors here to adjust the values of the standby as you like. A thing you can say here is that it could be nice if there was the click and drag system here instead of just the press there, like the default stuff. But anyway, that is how it is. That's a nice feature of those aircrafts here, that you can push in the middle of the button and it would synchronize by the current heading you are flying. That's very handy to make adjustments, I have to say. But let's look on the overall of the aircraft now. We just took a look at some of the primary stuff here in the cockpit, as it is no tutorial as such. It is just a quick brief of the aircraft here, and we will come back to it later on in the descent and all those things. So let's get into the cabin, because it's really nice. Don't click here, it's a click spot to open the doors, so keep that in mind. Got some nice features here. You can actually play some music as well here. If you click there, they would start some music. You can see playing music, and there should come some music. And there is, could also adjust here. Nice cabin, you can say. Bit classic music. Open the door. You can get to the bathroom, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not. You can't open the toilet seat, but there's no purpose for that, or anything else. But then you open and we get to the cargo compartment. You could also adjust some of the stuff here. I'm going to stop the music there. You got this menu system here, and fast start is just where the aircraft is going to be started by a push of a button. And the exterior pre-flight, you can go through the steps, but there is also a fast function there. Camera is just to give you some presets here for the given areas. inside the aircraft. Then you got the animations, and it is to open the doors and some covers, and see, open, close, light here in the cabin or no lighting, closing or opening doors, and see, whoop, gone. So nice animations there. Instruments, and you can click checklist again, just like from the cockpit, and the control panel there. Options, you can set the master volume for the interior exterior, or this is a general and this is for the exterior, sorry. Hide the yoke and such. Sorry, hide the pies. Sorry for that. Pop-ups could be switched off if you like. And main menu auto hide and pre-flight camera locks. Okay, that's pretty much it for that part of it. So now I guess we are around top of descent. Yes, we are. So we are going to make our descent here. Then it got a bit turbulent here. Going to make a descent down to flight level 100 or 10,000 to start with. So now the aircraft would start the descent here slowly. And the range of the displays is actually here by the outer knob, you can say, that you zoom in and out. And else you got the flight director modes here, the autopilot mode, sorry. Okay. And a little note here, the DME here is to our, it is to the runway, is it runway 10 at Faro? As far as I remember, yes, runway 10. It is 66 nautical miles away. The ASI is the distance for the GPS at the moment. If I switch to the CRS-1, it would go to 64.0 for the moment, because the ASI is actually the active that you are using for the distance. So keep that in mind if you are using it. And our approach is here from Vinol and into runway 10 here at Faro, and we should be at 2,000 feet when we are starting out at the waypoint. Yeah. And here is the original flight plan that we have done. Just skip Laris and sorry, we was going to Vasto and then to Akuta and then into the final waypoint here and then making a right hand turn into the runway. And we have set up the frequency 112.80, so we should be ready and tracking, as you can see, the distance for approach. And now I want to make it a bit more accurate, our descent here, so I am going to say we shoot down to 2000 feet and then we are going to vertical speed instead, to show you the marker here. It now disappeared. As it's telling me that we are going further than the waypoint we want to be at. It's a nice way to keep in track of your descent, but we also know we have to be a bit ahead of, because we have to slow down as we get down to flight level 100, as that is mainly the speed restriction we got at that point. But we have the speed brakes to help us in that aspect as well, even though it isn't 100% the right way to do it. As such, or I shouldn't say the right way, but pilots actually tend to not use speed brakes as such, because it's some pilots actually feel it demonstrates that they are not good pilots, they feel sometimes, even though people should just know that it is due to traffic flow and such when things are happening that way. So that is how it is. Okay, I'm going to slow down here a bit more. In a moment, as we are getting closer to our 10,000 feet marker there, so I'm going to set it for 250 just to remind us. And right now it is going pretty well. This cloud here is having a bit of a negative effect on the recording. I'm sorry for that. I actually have a few problems by some of the things here to keep a nice stream. So please bear in mind, it's not due to the aircraft at all. It is in fact due to the PC not being able to handle all that load. But of course it is quite some load for the system when you are both flying and recording at the same machine. So, and that is how it is. And I don't know why, because sometimes it seems like the settings for the recording program is, sometimes it seems fine and other times it doesn't look that great. Even I have tried to mess a bit around by the settings, so it isn't that perfect. Okay. And now we are doing a shortcut here, so we don't have to be flying the whole leg here in for the approach, just to demonstrate a bit of real life aspects here, because that is real life situations here. Okay, speed is going pretty well, and now I actually got the speed brakes down again, and we are coming nicely down here towards our approach into Faro here in Portugal. Going to do a right hand seat this time again. Don't know why I just like to be in the right hand seat. That actually does. Just to be a bit different. And transition level is 4,000 feet for the airport. Okay. And I see there we are going to be down nicely. As expected. Let's set the range here. Coming in there, 2,000 feet seems pretty okay. Could set a safety buffer of 1,800, just to make sure that we are not getting in too high. And I want to switch to flight level change instead, and then I want to adjust the throttles here, so I can now go over and adjust our profile here to try capture where we need to capture, and go down to 245 knots so we don't get above 250 as we did there, as we are having this speed restriction. And Faro should be over there, I suppose. Yeah, it is over there. There we got the airport of Faro. There we go. And soon we are at transition altitude. And the 2000 is still valid. So we are going to keep that in there for starting our approach, and we would be switching nav source to nav 1. There we go. Oh, sorry for that. My mistake there. Oops. And set QNH, and I want to slow down here a bit so we don't get in too quickly there for the approach. And we arm the approach mode, so it would automatically capture when we get close enough to the destination here. Okay, to 1000 to go. reduction would begin as we get further here. Okay, down to 180 knots. There we go. Try to help the aircraft intercept here. Okay, and it is intercepting now the ILS. Fine. Okay, and then we would be flying here until we are on the glide slope. That is not here, of course. It is a VOR approach. I just forgot that. So we are doing the visual approach here by the puppy lights. Too white, too red, and we should be good. Okay, flaps coming in. And in a moment I'm going to disconnect the autopilot and manually land the aircraft. Get the gear down. Here we go. Gonna keep a reasonable speed. And now we got too red, too white. I will fly straight off. And that automatically switch off the autopilot, switch off the ODEM as well, and get rid of the autopilot panel, and do our manual approach here into Faro Airport by the VOR here. Sorry. A nice steady headwind at 80 knots, you can see down there. So we are a bit lucky by the wind, you can say, for now. At least. A bit of turbulence, nothing serious or anything we can see up there. Okay. Bringing in the final flaps here. Seems pretty fine on the puppy lights at the moment. Too red, too white. Minimums. And we have visual, so we are continuing the approach. Not sure why the ILS actually says that we are a bit off course here, because we seem pretty accurate. But it is a tendency here in X-Plane sometimes. Okay, a bit of balloony there. There we go. Nice and steady. And a bit of manual braking there. So there we go. There we got it. Safely on the ground. So now we just taxi off the runway, and it's more or less it. So welcome to Faro Airport. Hope you enjoyed the landing here at Faro Airport in Portugal. A nice little trip from Gran Canaria. Okay, gonna switch off the landing lights, strobe lights. Inspection not required. And we can switch on the Autopilot. The EPU, sorry, Autopilot. EPUs, sorry for that. So let's just taxi in here, get the flaps up. A really nice little jet to fly, I have to say. It really is. And we could taxi to the left here and then park to the left, besides some of the other aircrafts in here. Not entirely sure where you would park a jet like this in real life here at Faro, but probably over there where they sometimes park some of the airliners, but I'm not sure. I'm not that familiar with this airport and how they are doing stuff. So that is beyond me, because it could also be over there to the right. But anyway, this seems to be a nice spot to park. It's funny, it sounds like a handbrake when you're pulling the lever. But that is how it is. And let's get it shut down. So, welcome to the destination here at Faro Airport. And take a look at the exterior. We could, of course, now we are here at the door. As I was mentioning, it would open the door, as you can see. So now the passenger can leave our little jet here. Nice little jet. So there you got it. I hope it demonstrated a bit of both the Autopilot and the aircraft. I know the videos are not that much about the radio panel, but again, it is just a few radio frequencies you are requiring to adjust, and in this aircraft you can see it works pretty fine by my little project, where you had a few problems in the previous aircraft that I was flying in. So that is it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and both the aircraft project I did, and all in all, it was worth to see in action. Else I'm sorry. But thank you for watching, and